and everything went black. And I was in the stars. And so I said to myself, okay, I remember falling out that chair. So I said, I must be passed out, or I must be asleep. I'm figuring out I'm having one of these weird dreams because I didn't know what I was looking at. And I went to this cave-like place. It was huge. And the walls came down. And as the walls came down, they should have came down to a floor, right? But where they stopped at, where a floor should have been, there was no floor. So it was like looking down into the night sky when we normally look up. So I'm looking down, not realizing that I'm floating. Where the floor should have been, there were a walkway. Square stones, side by side. So I looked right, and the walkway went down and went to the right and disappeared. I looked to the left to see where it was going that way. And it went into the wall maybe like 100 feet away. There was a door in the wall, and that door looked like the old castle doors with the curve at the top. When you say cave, most people think, oh, were you in hell or something, you know? But I had no fear there. No fear, I never feared nothing. And when I looked in the doorway, there was somebody in the doorway. And I'm looking, I'm like, wow, I can see through it like a ghost. I can see right through him. And he was just looking at me. So we were just looking at each other. And, you know, when you see something like that, you would get afraid. But I was like the cat. I was inquisitive. I said to myself, I want to go see what that is. As soon as "is" came out of my mouth or my thoughts, I took off like a bullet. And I was moving so fast that the sides were blurred. I was going so fast. And I got to the wall, that's when I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I said, humans don't move like that. How did I just do that? And I remembered why I went to the wall. It was to see who was there. And I remember, so I looked down below me, and there he was. But he didn't look up at me, he just floated along the path that I was looking at, the stone. And I watched him float all the way until he disappeared. And then apparently I went through the door because everything went jet black dark. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And all of a sudden I saw a light appear, and it looked like somebody had a flashlight, like they were searching. And that light fell on me, and it was so bright. If I had hands, but I went through the reaction of blocking the light with my hands. And that's when it took me in. And now the light wasn't so bright because I was inside of it. And it was soft. And so I remember I looked left, in front of me, right, and then down. And it was just this soft light. After a while, part I was facing started turning into a fog. And then the fog started clearing. And as I was looking, peering through, I could see a blue sky. And then that's when I got caught up. It felt like God he just grabbed me. And all I felt was this love, just powerful. It's like you get plugged up into electricity and you can't let go of it. And I was just like that, and it was just flowing through me. And the love was different. It was strong. It's something you never felt before, ever. And then I saw the words forgiveness, and then I saw the words love, and then I saw the words peace. And once I saw peace, I went back into the light and I floated out where it opened up. Each step that I went, I started losing Brian. And I never once questioned, hey man, you are in the sky. Whatever is happening, it was like my soul knew what was coming. I never had one bad thought. My mind was crystal clear. It was like the wind was blowing through it. There was not one worry in the world because I felt incredible and I can do anything that I wanted. I knew that. And so I floated down out of the sky and I floated to these pine trees. Pine trees have these needles. And as I was floating down, I could see every needle. Not one missed my eyesight. I saw all of them. And as I went down, I saw the tree go into the ground. And that's when I floated backwards. When I floated backwards, it was a drop-off. You know, like the California coast, you got these big drop-offs down to the water. Well, that's how this was. It was a big drop-off. And when I looked down, man, there was this garden. And they had, the flowers were so big, they were big as your dinner table. They were mesmerizing. They had so much life. You could feel it. And it felt like they were looking at me, even though they didn't have no eyes. Like everything was on me. And as I was looking at this garden, I can zoom in each flower that I want to see up close while I was looking left, right, up, and all of that. And I was just zooming them in, you know, whichever one I want to see up close. And I was just floating to the right real slow and just taking all this love in from these flowers, you know? It was like they were alive. And then the channel changed again. I was in the blue sky. Nothing around, no land, no nothing. And then it seems like the sky, something shifted. And then there was these 4 bright lights. They were straight up and down, spaced. And I was like, okay. And they were getting bigger. They were coming towards me. And as I was waiting for the lights to come, a lot of small lights start popping up. And they just start popping up all around me. And then they was just swirling, doing a thing, man. And I'm like, wow. It looked like it was so many, and it was just all over me. And I felt that that was my family. All my family that has left. And so here they are swirling with these beautiful small lights. And when the big lights got there, they stopped about where you're sitting. And all the little lights that were around me started going to the top light, like bullets. They were just going to the top. And they started melting together. And next thing you know, I see a head. And as they were filling him in. And next thing you know, I see shoulders. Then the elbows, it's like he was holding his hands in the front, but you couldn't see because it's light. But you could see the elbows sticking out, either it's in front or it was in the back. So I watched all these lights fill this whole man up. And when that finished at the bottom, I looked at it, he lifted his head, and I was like, whoa. Man, I was freaking out because I was just looking at all this power, nothing but power. Then he started moving in the sky. He went up and down, across. He was just flying around, and he never stopped looking at me. When he would go up, his head would tilt over. When he'd go down, his head would lean back. He never stopped looking at me. And so then he came back to me, and then he took off really fast. He left so fast that there were traces of himself. So I watched till each trace disappeared. Other stuff. I saw so much, but those I can't remember because it was going so fast. I was seeing so much. So then that's when I popped back in my body in the ambulance.